If you were George Washington leading a fragile nation after the American Revolution, the winter wind cuts through your coat like a blade. You stand outside a wooden house in New York City, capital of the fragile nation you helped create. Inside, men argue over laws and taxes, while the streets outside smell of mud, horse sweat, and chimney smoke. The war is over, but the empire you defied has only retreated across the ocean. Yet the danger has not ended. The survival of the United States now rests on something more fragile than armies. It rests on you. You were born in 1732 in the quiet countryside of Virginia, beside the slow Potomac River. Your earliest memories are not of glory, but of mist-covered fields and uneasy silence. At age 5, the morning's smell of damp soil and tobacco leaves drying in wooden sheds. Workers move through the fields before sunrise while the plantation house creaks in the cold. Your father rules the household with distant authority and heavy responsibility. Even as a child, the world feels uncertain. At night, wind brushes the wooden walls, while candles tremble and adults whisper about land, debts, and a distant king. When you are 11 years old, death enters the house. Your father dies suddenly, leaving the family fractured and the plantation burdened with uncertainty. Relatives whisper about inheritance and survival, while childhood quietly disappears. Something inside you hardens during that winter. The truth becomes clear far earlier than childhood should allow. No one will guide your life. The world will either shape you or crush you. At 12, you dream of the sea and the British Navy. You imagine ships cutting through storm-grey waves and cannons roaring beneath dark skies. But the decision is taken from you when your mother refuses. The ocean closes before you ever reach it, and fate begins tightening its grip. At 16, you step into the wilderness as a land surveyor on Virginia's vast frontier. Forests stretch endlessly while mud clings to your boots with every step. The air smells of wet bark and cold stone. Your hands harden from compass and chain, while nights are spent on rough ground beneath distant wolves. Your breath freezes in the morning air as frost gathers across silent land. You learn patience, precision, and the discipline of isolation. Weeks pass with little company but wind through branches and the creak of leather straps. You are young, yet the wilderness is already shaping you into something harder. Then, at 21, war arrives. The British Empire and France fight for control of North America. The frontier becomes a battlefield where ambition and empire collide. You are given command of soldiers older than yourself. Gunpowder fills the air as muskets crack through damp forests and cannon smoke drifts across shattered ground. During one battle, bullets tear through your coat. 4 holes mark the cloth, yet none touch your skin. Men begin whispering that something protects you, though you never answered them. Years pass, and your reputation grows quietly. Tall, disciplined, and watchful, you become a man who speaks little but commands attention. By the 1770s, unrest spreads through the American colonies. You already understand the cost of war. In 1775, the Continental Congress chooses you to lead the rebellion. You accept reluctantly while the room smells of candle wax and damp wool coats. Outside, the British Army waits. The war that follows is not glory but cold, hunger, and endless retreat. At Valley Forge, soldiers wrap their feet in rags while blood stains the frozen snow. Men cough through bitter nights while weak fires struggle against winter. Supplies vanish and hope fades. Every day you fear the army will dissolve, yet every day you must pretend it will not. Slowly something changes inside you. Doubt fades because there is no longer room for doubt. Command becomes a weight that never lifts. You speak calmly even when fear crawls beneath your ribs like ice. The war lasts 8 long years. You watch friends die, cities burn, and the empire you once served become your enemy. The man who walked Virginia's quiet fields slowly disappears. In his place stands a commander shaped by exhaustion and necessity. Then in 1781, the moment finally arrives. At Yorktown, the British army is surrounded. Cannon fire pounds the earth while smoke fills the air for days. When the British surrender, their drums beat a slow and bitter rhythm. Victory arrives quietly because you understand what most men do not. Winning the war was the easier task. Peace brings a more dangerous burden. The new nation is weak, divided, and uncertain of its future. Some officers whisper that you should become king. History offers many examples of victorious generals seizing power, but you refuse and return your command to Congress. For a moment, it seems the cycle of ambition has been broken. Yet history rarely releases its chosen figures. In 1789, the nation turns to you again. You become the first president of the United States. There is no guide for the office, and no precedent for the decisions ahead. The young republic trembles beneath debt, division, and foreign threats. Newspapers attack your character while allies become rivals. The office ages you quickly and your hair turns white. You begin to understand that building a nation is not a single victory but a burden carried every day. By the end of your presidency, exhaustion replaces ambition. Politics grows bitter and factions divide the country you fought to unite. So you do something almost no ruler in history has done. You step away and surrender power willingly. You return to Mount Vernon as an old man. The plantation smells the same as when you were young: wet soil, tobacco leaves, and distant river air. Yet nothing feels familiar anymore. War, leadership, and time have carved deep lines into your memory. At night, you sit beside the fire, listening to the quiet creak of the house. History moves on beyond your walls as new leaders rise and new conflicts approach. When death comes in December 1799, the nation mourns. Church bells ring across cities and villages for the man who refused to become a king. But nations never stop changing after their founders disappear. Long after you are gone, new presidents will sit behind the same desk. Each will face the same terrible responsibility of holding a fragile republic together. And somewhere in the quiet halls of power, the same question waits for the next leader: whether they will protect the republic or become the very power it was created to resist.